Jabari za jioni. These are some of the typical greetings used in Uganda, meaning hello and good evening. Today I will share with you how the Pearl of Africa has such a unique and exciting culture. I've always had a deep interest in African countries, especially Uganda. It's easy to say that I have thoroughly researched this topic. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Uganda. Second, I'll tell you about some of their cultural aspects. And lastly, I'll tell you about the unique communication behaviors displayed there. First, let me begin by telling you more about Uganda. In 500 BC, Bantu-speaking people migrated to this area, creating 3 different kingdoms. The boundaries created by Britain later for Uganda grouped together many different ethnic groups that had all different political systems and cultures. According to the 2013 issue of the World Factbook, these differences prevented the establishment of a working political community after interdependence as achieved in 1962. In 2005, there was a constitutional referendum that canceled a 19-year ban on multi-party politics. Previously, Uganda was referred to as the Pearl of Africa by Winston Churchill by all of its magnificence. Uganda is located on the East Central Africa, west of Kenya, and east of the Dominican Republic of the Congo. The area of Uganda is slightly smaller than the state of Oregon. The area of Uganda hosts many lakes, which provides ample water power resources. The land surface is extremely diverse, with elevated plains, extensive forests, swamps, and even snow-capped peaks. Now that you have learned some of the basic information about Uganda, I'll tell you about some of the cultural aspects also. The culture of Uganda consists of a very diverse range of ethnic people. Uganda is host to over 37 million people. As recorded in the 2014 Funk and Waggle's New World Encyclopedia section on Uganda, about 2/3 of Uganda's inhabitants are Christians, and approximately 16% are Muslims. The rest follow traditional religions. Previously, there were many Sikhs and Hindus in this country until Asians were expelled in 1972 following an alleged dream by the president. Now they are welcome back from the new president there, and many are returning back to live. Marriage is also traditionally one of the most important social customs in Uganda. It is a main way for people to unite families and clans, which means the extended family has a big role in making sure the marriage stays together. Ugandan families have very traditional and distinct gender roles. Women are typically responsible for domestic chores such as getting water, taking care of the kids, and also cooking, while men are usually dominant leaders of the household. Polygamy is also legal in Uganda, meaning that a man is able to have multiple wives. Overall, polygamous marriages have been declining in Uganda as the country has modernized and as the previous cultures that once supported it have eroded. Finally, I wanted to tell you more information about the culture's unique communication behaviors. Communication plays a very vital role in this country and has a big impact on their everyday life. The official language of Uganda is English and also Swahili. About 2/3 of the people speak Bantu, typically living in the south portion of the country. Many of the remaining people speak Nilotic language, which live in the northern part of the community. Since there are so many different ethnic groups, many other indigenous languages are also used throughout. In all the Bantu-speaking areas in Uganda, there is a dialect continuum, meaning that as you move farther down, the language changes little at a time. The people of Uganda rely heavily on body movements to convey messages, for it is something that they have always been brought up to do. The people will often manipulate their body and use hand gestures and body movements to support what they are saying, especially during storytelling. There are also many tourists in Uganda, which typically do not speak their native tongue language, which creates a major language barrier between both of them. To compensate for this, many of them will try to use hand gestures to try to communicate what they are trying to say with each other. As you now can tell, there are many reasons why Uganda is considered the Pearl of Africa for all that it has to offer. To conclude, I first told you about the background of Uganda, and then I told you about the cultural aspects displayed there. And then finally, I told you about some of the unique communication behaviors there as well. After receiving all of this information, I hope that you now have a better understanding of all that Uganda has to offer for its unique yet exciting culture.